Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of The Breakdown with your host, Big Nick. Today, we have a very highly anticipated interview that we've all been looking forward to. NFL veteran kicker Nick Novak. How you doing, Nick?
Doing well, man. Thanks for having me, Nick.
Yeah,
Easy
so
name.
Nick kicked for five teams professionally in the NFL. He kicked for Washington, Arizona, Kansas City, San Diego, and Houston, and also had quick stints in the offseason and with practice between Chicago, Dallas, and the New York Jets. So he's been around. He knows the game. He's seen it all. He's been to the playoffs, uh, all decade team with the Chargers, and also ranks sixth all time in points in the Chargers. So this is the guy we've been waiting to have, and hopefully you guys enjoy. So Nick, if you don't mind, just take us inside an NFL locker room, day one, being an undrafted free agent, and trying to prove yourself to the guys, to the veterans.
To tell you the truth, um, really, you just keep your mouth shut and your head down and work. That's was kind of my mindset. I'd be lying to you if I wasn't a little nervous walking into a locker room with all pros and guys that have been in the league for 6 to 10 years already. And for me, it was just do your job, earn the respect of the my teammates, the personnel, the whole organization, and the only way to do that is do your job well. Um, but as you get to your locker and you get all your stuff unpacked, and you got your jersey there, your helmet, all the gear they give you, you get settled in. You start to get into a nice routine. The locker room, the locker, your personal locker kind of becomes your home. I spent more time there than just shoot my own home when I was playing, and you go from there to the meetings, to the ice tub, to the hot tub, to the practice field, back, and you're just kind of constantly flowing through the locker room as you go through your day to day at the facility, and that environment is special.
Yeah.
When you can you have a jersey with your name on the back and the team you're representing on the front, and then you got 53 guys during the season. We're all counting on each other. It really becomes a brotherhood and a family in that locker room.
Yeah, for sure. And I could imagine, especially being a kicker. It's hard as a young guy, I'm sure, to quite honestly, and of course, you're not walking right into game winners every week, but you really do have the team on your back. And like you said, like you guys all have that brotherhood where obviously you have one goal in common, and it's a lot. I mean, you're putting the whole team on your back a lot of times in the fourth quarter of games and overtime and etc. So, I think that says a lot for sure. Was there like an immediate connection when you came into the league with a particular coach or a particular special teams player, or I guess in I guess not just in Washington, but throughout your career, who was your main guy? What was the immediate connection where you said, okay, this is home?
Um, my first regular season game was with the Redskins, and Rock Cartwright was there. Um, James Thrash was there, who works now with the NFLPA. Those two guys were great special teamers and leaders on the team at the time. And Danny Smith was the head coach, one of the best guys still keep in touch with, and he really helped me develop my game and the bag of tricks as they call them on kickoff, and just having more to um, add to it, and just create more value for myself. So he was instrumental giving me an opportunity there, and there were some great teammates in Washington. Rock Cartwright, like I said, was one of the best special teamers I've played with. But, the Bears, man, I was competed against five kickers that offseason just to get to training camp.
Wow.
It was me and Doug Bryan at the very end, competing all preseason, and that year we had five preseason games. So that was one of the longest off seasons, but they really made us earn it to get to training camp, and that really got me ready
A little bit of a wake
for
up
the.
call, I guess.
Oh
Just
yeah,
kind
it was a
of,
wake exactly going being a starter in college, and then you're now you're you know, fifth on out of on the depth chart, and you just never know what's going to happen. All you can do is compete and focus on yourself and do the best you can. But every team early on, there's two or three guys that really kind of took me under their wing and saw how hard I wanted it and how hard I worked and appreciated that.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess just shifting gears onto more of the like modern day kicking from as opposed to when you joined the league, it seems like a lot of times we're trying to take kicking out of the game. And to be honest, I remember growing up, my favorite part about football was special teams, and I used to watch Devin Hester run kicks back, and Leon Washington and those kind of guys, and and even college, you look at the overtime, and there's no kicking involved. You start at the 20. I mean, it's involved, but to a lesser degree. And what's your message, I guess, to younger kickers trying to come up and keep them motivated, where they hear on Sports Center and on Twitter that the NFL keeps proposing these different rule changes to get it out of the game?
Right. Yeah, good question. That'd be the worst thing I think for the game is to get rid of the kickoff or
I
the
agree.
extra point. They've already pushed us back, and you see a missed extra point weekly. There's always one or two,
Yep.
and I think that that's not bad for the game. There was an automatic kind of 1 point there, so really it still should still be in the high 90, close to 100%. And most guys are. It's just there's that one or two errant misses a week that happens. So I think they have accomplished what they tried to there. I'm just glad they didn't take out the extra point and just go for two or whatever. So
Yeah.
the kickoff, I love the kickoff. It's an opportunity for kickers to show their toughness. They get to run down there and get into the mix and be part of the 11, not just 10 guys. And
Did you enjoy that, or were there
I,
times when you said, "Oh, let me get out of here"?
oh yeah, there's times where I was head up on a great returner, and sometimes they're small, sometimes they're huge. So
Hmm.
you just gotta you know get steamrolled if you have to, but slow them down. That was kind of my mantra: is get in their way, and hopefully the other guys come quick. But
Yeah.
I had about 10 tackles. They weren't all solo, but I definitely was in there, and I enjoyed that part of it.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm all for creating more competition. So I understand backing up the extra point. Like you said, it's not necessarily a bad thing. But the contrast to that, I think, is pushing up the kickoff, because now you just took away a lot of competition. I mean, I would have to say I watch football every week, start to finish, starting Saturday at noon and through Sunday
Mm-hmm.
night. So I I see kickoffs now. No one kicks. Everyone kicks it through the end zone, just right through. We
Right.
start at the 25. And like, to me, you created more competition. You created more excitement moving back the extra point, sure, but you kind of throw it away in the ensuing kickoff because there's no action there.
Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of teams are getting creative and placing in the corners, like you see New England Patriots do it often. Put it right inside the 5 or inside the 10, and
Yeah.
so you can get creative. With field positions, it's so vital to win a game. Starting at the 25, that the percentage goes up for an offense to score there, and if you can get them inside the 20, I think that's the mindset, especially of an aggressive unit. Is to do that. So yeah, and they moved it up from the 30, now it's to the 35, and maybe they'll move it back again, but they're just trying to. I understand they're trying to make the game safer and figure out ways
Yeah.
to diminish or the contact or the risk of running downfield, and I think the XFL is trying to do that, or did with the rules there. Very interesting, and I think they're going to do it again in the spring league coming up, where the guys are already downfield, 25 and 30-yard line, and the kicks, it's kicked. Really, the kicker's just servicing the play, and you get penalized actually for touchback. I don't know, the rules there are pretty interesting, but I love kickoff, and I think if we could figure out ways to slow the guys down. I think they're accomplishing that with they only have 1 yard now to accelerate after the ball is kicked. They're right
Yeah.
on the line of scrimmage. They run down, and so they're limiting speed by doing that. And I don't know. I haven't looked at the studies or the stats, but I'm pretty sure head injuries and things like that are lower
Yeah, sure.
than they were in the past.
I think and I'm all for reducing injuries. I think it's a good idea. It's just it is a shame because even at the college level, I don't know if you're aware of the new rule. They could now even catch the ball within the 5 yard line and call it fair catch on a kickoff. They call it fair catch, and again, ball 25. It's like in a way, I equate it to the new rule baseball implemented this year, where in extras they're starting with a man at second. Like you have to earn that. You got to earn
Right.
getting the ball at the 25 yard line. You got to earn getting a man at second base. And
Right.
I'm not against it. I'm not here to like complain the whole interview, but I'm just asking as a kicker, where you were on that. I mean, you answered it
Yeah.
well, so thank you. But
And
I just
I
think
would love
that
to.
what's that?
So most of these guys want to kick off and run down there, and I think I had teammates all my entire career tell me we don't want a touchback. I want to cover. This is how I make my living. So
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
you're just kicking the ball through the end zone, it's like you're taking all the 10 other guys out of the play. And later in the game, obviously there's strategically you want to do that, and a lot of guys are just like we're winning by 3 or 4 touchdowns. Let's just there's no point in covering and taking the beating. But um, these most of the guys first quarter, second quarter, they want to cover kicks. And
Yeah.
um,
And I'm sure even on an opening kickoff, like a Sunday night football game, everyone's
yeah,
fired up. You come out there, you want to pop someone, you want to set the tone. I mean, to a
exactly.
lesser level, I played in high school, and that's what you wanted to do. You want to set the tone from the opening kickoff, and you don't want to just blow the whistle and have the ref wave a touchback. So
That's crazy. A fair catch on a kickoff. I'm not. You're almost penalizing the kicker too for a great kick inside the 5 with great
exactly,
hang
yeah.
time.
Check
Now
that
he can't
out. It's
cover.
uh,
Yeah,
it's crazy. We were watching the games a few weeks ago. My buddy goes, "What an idiot! He just fair caught it at the 5." I go, "No, it's new
it
rule."
comes up. Yeah, that's frustrating. It's frustrating. I mean, I've had refs tell me, "Hey, kick this." You're gonna be surprised. Kick this out the back of the end zone because we don't get graded on. The refs don't get graded on touchbacks. So
Oh boy.
there's and I'm sure there's job security in having a kicker who can touch it back, kick a touchback, kick it out of the end zone.
Yeah.
There's no risk for a return, and it's nobody's going to be pointing the finger at anybody. So there's a lot of little things in there for
Yeah. I
behind the
mean,
scenes
again,
stuff.
I just see everyone doing it. When I grew up, it was, a couple guys. Janikowski used to just boot it through every time, and, it was a few
Hmm.
guys, but there was, a lot of run backs. But we'll move on. I was going to say, not that you have to answer this, but a lot of guys I'm like associated with wanted me to ask. They're curious, um, what was your favorite organization, your favorite team where you really just felt comfortable? No monkey on your shoulder, like just kind of relaxed, comfortable, confident. What organization did that for you?
Probably the Chargers, just kind of grinding in the beginning, filling in for injured veterans. Didn't really unpack the bags before the Chargers. I was just, you know, when they committed to me in 2013 in the offseason
Hmm.
for another 4 years, that was kind of the first time. I was 28 then. Got into the league at 21. First time I really signed a contract, and a team was saying, "Hey, we believe in you. You're our guy. Let's go." And so that gave me a ton of confidence. I could finally unpack the bag. By
Yeah,
no means did I get comfortable, but it was actually the opposite. I wanted to prove that I deserved that, and that
it strived you to work harder in a way.
work harder. And that was the best 4 years after that I had my careers, because they said, "Hey, the city, everybody got behind it," and I felt that, and that improved my performance in the field. So I really loved. I mean, having grown up here and was born here, lived for 13 years, then we moved to Virginia. Uh, Came back for Chargers opportunity. in the beginning, it was me filling in for Nate Kading, which is amazing kicker, played 10 years in the league, and just filling in for him when he was injured, and there was an opportunity to come back the final time, and um, did well enough for the team to believe in me and stick with me for uh, the remainder of that year and 4 more. So I was
Yeah.
yeah, I have a lot of pride in my time as a Charger, and second to that probably Houston. Loved my time in Houston. Um, 2 seasons there, went to the playoffs, and um, so that was an enjoyable experience. Never thought I'd end up in Houston. It just happened. Timing was right, and had a good career there, and really grew to love that city as well.
Sure. Yeah, and were there times in the league as you got more experienced, and got older, more time in the league? Was there times when a coach would call out the offense to maybe go for it on a 4th and 5, 4th and 6, and you kind of grabbed coach and said, Coach, I'm kicking this. Like you kind of pleaded with him to get out there because I know a lot of times in baseball, pitching coach will come out or manager will come out to pull him, and the pitcher
Hmm.
will say, "No, you're not pulling me from this game." Is it similar with kicking in the NFL? Are there times when you say, "Coach, I'm kicking this one through, get the offense off the field," or how did that
Yeah,
work?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, especially at half when you're trying to get out there for a longer one, or just maybe something in the third quarter that's right on the edge of your range. There's plenty of times where I'd already be at the hash, and then he'd wave me back. But it's you want those kicks even if they're towards the edge of your range. That's yeah, of course. But those guys, man, I don't know. I'm sure you know this, but coaches, when it comes to game planning and time, they pretty much sleep at the office. So when a player is telling them to do something, they don't want to hear that. So I kind of was you know showed the confidence that I wanted it, and if they disagree with me, I respected that. But it was never me saying, "Hey, we're doing this. I'm gonna work,
yeah.
and I'm gonna take a delay game because I'm arguing with my coach." No, I wasn't gonna do that. So, um,
No, I hear you, and I guess yeah, that's true. I mean, you don't want to piss them off too much, at that level, especially.
but but they want you to have that confidence for sure. They want to know that you want that kick, even if it's not probably the
Yeah,
best
I
time for the
mean,
team.
sure, it's going to
Yeah,
put confidence in the coach's head too, because they don't want to turn around at, like you said, at the end of a half, say 55, 56 yarder, and they don't want to turn around and see you hiding over by the kicking net. I mean,
exactly. Yeah,
it puts a little bit of stability in their mind too. Like, okay, this guy's he's gonna drill it. He's confident.
right.
So it's
Yeah.
it's someone it's someone you could trust. But did you always kick, or were you a punter at a previous level before the NFL, or did you do both?
I did both in high school, and was always a backup in college. But it's something I always made sure that I knew how to do, refine the skill. But I would never claim to be a punter. I did punt in an NFL game
You did.
7 times. I did.
Okay.
Yeah, so you need to know how to do it. I was 7 times. Mike Cyphers was injured, broke his collarbone because he got roughed by the New England Patriots at home, and it wasn't even halftime yet. It was still the second quarter, so a lot of game left, and I don't think I got any more field goals after that injury. So I was focusing pretty much on just punting the rest of the game.
Huh,
Um,
that's interesting.
7 punts. I think I averaged 40 yards. Best punt was like a 51. But it started off rough. I was like 32 yarder, 35 yarder, and then it got better after each punt. But yeah, I was probably the wasn't a. I was just like catch it, catch it, catch it. That was all I was concerned about. Catch it and get it off quick.
Yeah, I hear you. You don't want to take a
Yeah.
block.
No.
um, did you in high school? Because I know a lot of guys do this. Were you a soccer player, or were you strictly kicking for the football team?
No, I grew up playing soccer. Football wasn't even on the radar until sophomore year in high school, and
Okay.
went to a few camps after my sophomore year, and just progressively started to shift out of soccer. Totally quit. I hate to say that word.
Yeah, no, well,
Going, yeah,
well,
going
no,
into
well,
my
well,
senior
not
year.
to interrupt you, but that's what I was gonna say. When did you
Yeah.
realize, okay, we have something here. This is legit. And when did you say, okay, I'm gonna go the football route?
When I started to get mail from like Frank Solich and Nebraska and schools like that, and I was getting mail for soccer, no offense, but like Old Dominion or Division II, Division III schools, and
Sure,
I
yeah.
was just maybe I should do this kicking thing, and possibly a scholarship can come from it. And it was kind of right around that junior year in high school. Um, had a good sophomore, junior, and just kind of was getting some momentum going. And Maryland was right in my backyard. So was UVA. My parents were actually teaching there at UVA at the time. That's why we moved from San Diego to Virginia.
Okay.
And it just worked out. I had a great coach that was an All-American at Maryland, and he would convince me. Eric Wilson would convince me to go up there for unofficials, weekly, and that's what I would do. And just love the environment, love the culture. That's how I ended up in Maryland. But yeah, played soccer my whole life up till 18, and actually played tennis. Got a letter in tennis. My dad was always enjoyed the game, so he taught me how to play. And
That's
um,
interesting.
but I would have never played, never kicked if it wasn't for my mom allowing me to, because my head coach was my earth science teacher, and he was like, "We need a kicker. Our guy's leaving." I was like, "You got to talk to my mom, man." And I didn't.
She didn't want you
It was
playing football?
coach for Hovac. No, it just wasn't. We didn't grow up playing pee wee. My mom's a nurse, so she was super protective and all that, and
Yeah.
knew about the risks, but kicker's pretty safe. So that was the only part of the deal that she was like, he can only kick. Trust me, I wanted to play receiver. I wanted to do all these things because I felt I was an athlete, and
You're an
I just
athlete.
wanted
Yeah,
to
exactly.
do
Exactly.
that. Yeah. I think soccer, man, soccer is a great sport to develop your athletic skills, and it keeps you in shape. So it's just footwork and all that and agility. So I really carried over to, hey, you want to be a receiver? I can run that route. But the other flip side of that is, can you beat the DB and get open and still catch the ball with somebody hacking at your arms and all that stuff. So it's totally, yeah, I can catch it on the practice field, no problem. But I understand it's totally different story once you got someone defending you. But
Yeah, of course. Of
I
course.
love the game, man. I didn't know really too much about the game when I started. I think my helmet was on backwards, my pads. I didn't know what these things were for, but um, yeah, it was really have grown to love the game and learn all the nuances and how important special teams is, and just everything kind of clicking on together in order to win a game.
Yeah. Yeah, and just I won't keep you too long, but just a couple more things if you don't mind. Can you talk about the other leagues quick? When you decided to, move to like you said, you played for the Birmingham Iron, correct?
Hmm.
And
Right? Yeah.
you played for Los Angeles, right? And Los Angeles, what was their name?
It was the Wildcats.
The Wildcats, yes. So talk about those other leagues. Were they more fun? Were they more lenient? What was the difference?
So I played NFL Europe and then also the UFL, 2010. I think that lasted for about 3 years, and then the AAF and the XFL most recently. Um, it's all good football. I mean, when you get down to the bones of it, the players all wanted to compete. They love the game, and these are all kind of bubble players getting released out of training camp. Um, just guys that were trying to maybe get back into the league. They've been out for a year or so, or maybe they got in trouble and just trying to reclaim their career and get back on the right path. And I loved it, man. Every one of those leagues, great locker room. Um, you're around guys that primarily, kind of were all special teamers, and um, you know, that mindset. So it's football. That the rules were the same, the ball was the same, the
Yeah,
field was the same in those leagues, and um, the rules were completely different in the XFL in a lot of ways, special teams wise. But um, yeah, man, the love of the game was, you could tell, and all these guys. I just hope one of these leagues actually lasts for a while. I mean, the NFL Europe was awesome, lasted for a long time. Um, but I think that's going to start up again. It's going to be great for these players to continue their career, and we just need the thing to support it. And I think it was good football. Without COVID, we'd probably still be the XFL would have finished the season, and we'd be going on year 2 now. But it's there's a need. You know, the NFL probably doesn't need it, but these guys need it to keep, getting game film. It's one of the most important things for an athlete to continue to get that game film and improve that resume, so that the NFL can say, hey, we don't just have a college career to look at with the kids 18 to 21. What happens to these guys when they're 21 to 26, when they're actually growing and maturing and getting bigger and stronger and faster? There's a whole lot of growth that goes on there.
Yeah, for sure. And I got to ask you this, Nick, on a more humorous level, a little more funny question. The P game, you knew it was coming.
How did I know that? My legacy
was that that's well, no, you were a great kicker. That's not your legacy, but was that, real quick, was that something where you said, during the fourth, I gotta go, please, I hope I don't need to kick a game winner? Because the game was tied with a minute left, against Denver. And or was that kind of just nerve settling in out of nowhere?
Oftentimes I've got to pee on the sidelines because I consume so much water there. I usually sit by the Gatorade area, and there's a nice little cooler there that a lot of guys like to sit on when they're out in the field. So that was just I just down water all game. So I feel like a lot, and that's the bathroom. There's no tent on the sideline. Now there is at the college level. I should probably get some credit for that, but
yeah, you improvised for sure.
That's where guys pee, and that was just that I can tell you, after that game, I didn't pee on the sideline ever again, even though I felt like peeing, but I held it in, waited for halftime, and but that's where, every player does it constantly throughout the game. They might even do it on a drive, going down the field or on the bench. There's stories of guys actually doing number 2 on the bench.
Oh God!
And got away with it put a towel over their knees and just took care of business. But
the camera just
nobody
found
knows.
You. Yeah,
just found me. Yeah, my lucky day. And they stayed on me too, man.
They gave it to you. Oh yeah.
Who was running that? I don't know if it was CBS, ABC.
It was CBS.
CBS. Man, they had that camera on me for a good 30 seconds,
That was a funny moment.
The view.
I remember I was telling some of my buddies that we were gonna do this. We were gonna do the interview, and they said you're gonna ask him about when he peed.
Yeah, man. I should have got like a Depends contract after that. Just I tried to keep a good attitude about that and about that game, and move on quickly.
I thought it might have just been nerves, because a lot of athletes, and there's nothing wrong with it. A lot of guys, I played with guys who would throw up right before the game. They had to throw up. It didn't matter if they ate. They didn't eat. Just nerves. Got to do it. So I don't know. I thought it was a funny moment.
Nick Hartwig, man, he'd puke before every game in the bathroom stall. You'd hear it. And,
yep.
But you wanted him to do it because that was his routine. All right, we know he's going to have a great game now, so we're all waiting for the puke.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody's got their thing. That's not my thing though. I didn't pee after that game. Actually, the GM of the team, Mr. Spanos, the next game, pulled me to. He's like, "Hey, come here. Let me show you where the bathroom is underneath the stands over here." I was like, I had no idea the bathroom was under here, but thank you. I'll use this next time. But everyone
never needed it.
Everyone had a good kind of laugh over it. I'm sure the outcome of the game wasn't funny, but I knew not to do that again.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And yeah, just to finish up, what are you doing now? I see you on Instagram. You got a lot of guys. It seems like you're working with. are you working with just younger guys? Do you still work with guys who are kicking in the league? And even yourself, do you look back to get into football after this season?
Well, I had knee surgery after the during the XFL season, so I'm dealing with a meniscus repair. So I'm about 9 months post-operative. So I'm as far as playing again, I won't say whether I'm completely done, but right now I'm love to coach, and I'm a special teams coach at a local high school, Maranatha Christian, and then I work with high school free agents, college kids, and active pros, all every level really. And I'm on the field. It gives me that peace of mind to get back out there every day and help these guys, you know, be the best kicker punter they can be. Even some snappers are thrown in there. So I'm creating also competitions weekly,
Cool.
virtually, and teams can actually log in and watch. And
Yeah, awesome.
it's interactive with me. I say, hey, what do you want to see? And take them through the chart session. Anything extra, the coaches jump on, and it's hopefully it can we can still do this after COVID and all this stuff kind of settles down. But I think there's a need to do a constant combine throughout the season and just get these guys as much exposure as possible. But I love coaching, man. I think I'm a better coach than kicker. It's um, I was a grinder as a player, but I just want to see these guys make it. The percentage is very low to be a pro because there's only 32 jobs, and all these guys
Very
are pretty
tough.
much
Yep.
kicking
Toughest position.
great. 32 best in the world right now, but there's another 10 out there that have the talent and are good enough to be in that 32 as well. So you just got to be patient. Timing's everything. Um, it took me about 3 or 4 years to get in and stay in, um, and have a consistent job. So it yeah, the coaching aspect of it. Just try to think about all the experiences I've had and tell the stories to the guys and get them um, as ready as possible to get that when they get that opportunity to perform.
Yeah, you're a good guy to learn from. Good role model. So good luck to you. Good luck to the guys you're training, honestly. And thanks so much for doing this. We've been missing each other. I know you're busy, and I'm busy now, starting school back up. But I'm glad we got to do this. Thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you're back in school and doing what you love. So thanks for having me.
All right, talk to you soon. Thanks.
All right, man. See you.
So that's it, guys. Nick Novak for you, NFL veteran. Um, Played with a bunch of teams, bounced around. He knows the game just as well as anyone. Like he said, like you guys heard, football wasn't even in his. He wasn't even looking to play football till about sophomore, junior year of high school. His teacher asked him to play, and he was good at it. And he started going to camp, started getting letters, started getting emails from different schools, and that's when it became serious. And tried out as an undrafted free agent. Washington signed him, and the rest is history. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully, we're going to have more professional guys on. I'm in talks with a few different athletes right now, along with a couple Alabama guys. So, please stay tuned and keep up the support. Going to get back into this now, and now that COVID is kind of coming towards an end, and talk to you guys soon. Thanks.